I'm Nicholas Parisian, and my term project is on the Kazakh golden eagle hunters. I will be explaining who and where the Kazakh golden eagle hunters are from, and then I'll be explaining the typical diet and lifestyle that they have, and then I'll finish it off with the Kazakh golden eagle hunters' traditions and struggles that they may face in today's world. Alright, let's begin. The Kazakh golden eagle hunters right now, today, live in western Mongolia in a province called Bayan-Ogili province. But they never started there. They all were once people who lived in Kazakhstan and left because of the tyrant communists that took over. A bunch of people left and just decided to live a new life, leaving the old one behind for a new country life and not city life. Now we will be talking about who is the Kazakh golden eagle hunters. Well, they are an indigenous group who is semi-nomadic and lives in the Altai mountains. And they have yurt tents, as you can see from the picture. Yurt tents are very important to the survival of the Kazakh tribe. The yurt tents were easy to assemble and deassemble, making their semi-nomadic lifestyles very easier for them. It is said that a Kazakh golden eagle, as a group, would move around 3 times a year to new locations depending on the seasons. Yurt tents did not have much room in them, leading to them using tents for one use. So they have one tent just for bedroom for one person, they have another just for a living room, they have another for a kitchen, and sometimes when it was really cold out, they would even have some for the animals. Yurt tents were very well protecting them in all the seasons. They helped them protect them against the wind really well, and they were great at retaining heat, so nobody ever got cold. And when it was really cold out in those minus 40, minus 50 degrees Celsius, they could add extra layers of fur and cloth around the yurt tent, and it's dug into the soil in the bottom, so no cold air comes up from the top, from the bottom up. And they have a hole in the top as like a chimney for their stove, their wooden stove that keeps them warm, and they also cook food on it. Very impressive. And there is about 87 Kazakhs alive living in western Mongolia, and that 87 makes about 88% of the province, and that's 4% of all of Mongolia's population. Now we will be talking about the typical diet for the Kazakh golden eagle hunters. This diet that they've used has helped them for hundreds of years up to today, and they've always lived off mutton, horse meat, milk, different cheeses, and any small animals that eagles will kill, rabbits, foxes, stuff like that, etc. Their diet was very high in protein and fats, and that is very important for their survival in those deadly winters that they have. They also ate camel meat, but it wasn't a regular thing for them. It was only used for celebration and festive events, making it very sacred to them. The Kazakh diet is very, very strongly influenced on their semi-nomadic life. They don't have time to plant food or the ground and the weather. They only have time for meat. Next, we will be talking about the traditions of the Kazakh golden eagle hunters. They have an oral history that they teach down from elder to young, and it's like a 7-year generation that they have to know, including with other knowledge that they learn, but this is the most important thing. They must know 7 generations worth of their ancestors in order. Very important to their culture. And they had this another 4,000 1,000-year-old tradition called hunting with the eagles, and this is what they are famous for. How it works is one day when a boy, and sometimes a girl, when they turn the age of 13 and they have the strength to hold an eagle up with their arm, then them and their father will go out and collect a baby eagle for them to train with in the summer. They only trained in the summer was because of the temperatures and around. And in the summer, they had the high of -5, and it was easier for them to train and hunt with the baby eagle. In winter, it got to -45, and the baby eagle wouldn't be able to survive. How the hunting is done is before dawn, the Kazakhs would wake up and they would get everything ready, and they would head for the mountain ridge, get up high above a valley, and they would keep their hoods up. That's very important. They would keep their hoods up. And once they saw a prey, once they got to their spot, they would take their hoods off, signaling to the golden eagles, and the golden eagles flying over with their great vision, better than humans, would see the prey easily and go down and catch it, and then the Kazakhs would go along and pick it up after. After 10 years of training and hunting with an eagle, they will release it back into the wild. A golden eagle will live a roughly 25 years, so that's 15 years roughly they will still live in the wild, and they did this because they wanted them to go and make more babies so they can become golden hunters, and they believed in that. And lastly, for traditions, the Kazakhs wear headbands and beads and talismans to protect themselves from evil, very strongly believed in their culture. Now we'll be talking about the clothing. Their clothing is influenced by their hunting and the furs that they can obtain. When they're on horseback hunting with their golden eagles, they would collect rabbits, marmots, foxes, and wolves, and they would use those furs for their survival in the cold winters. And they had their own version of it too, called a luvus, and it was made out of fox fur, as you can see in the pictures. Now we'll talk about some struggles that the Kazakh golden eagle hunters would face. Because of their semi-nomadic lifestyle, they had to adjust over time where they could move and go because of border restrictions. Where they are restricted is along Kazakhstan, Mongolia sometimes, and the Chinese province of Xinjiang. Because of their security, it makes it hard for them to move sometimes. Another struggle that happened was in the past, the Kazakh golden eagle hunters, when they were discovered and the people came, they didn't get colonized to take anything because they didn't really have much. But a lot of the people gave up that lifestyle for the city lifestyle, for that European lifestyle, and a lot of people just got up and left, and that's hurt the population a lot. Because there is an estimate of only 250 eagle hunters left in Western Mongolia. Out of 87,000 of them, only 250 of them go out and hunt with the eagles and traditions and eat like that. Lifestyle is dying out very quickly. Lastly, we will be talking about the horses of Mongolia. There's a saying, a Kazakh golden eagle hunter without a horse is a bird without wings, and I think those two work pair to pair describing each other. Yes, they do eat meat, horse meat, but that is not a problem because there is an estimate of 3 million horses in Mongolia all around, and that outnumbers the human population in Mongolia. So, lack of horses, they will not have to face. The Mongol horse in Mongolia is a very special breed that the eagle hunters use. The horse is smaller than normal, and it tends to look like a pony to the other people. And that would be the end. Thank you all for watching.